Every human experiences all kinds of emotions. And a part of the human experience is also to experience negative emotions. This is, of course, uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to feel frustration or anger or something else. But if you can learn to transform it and to learn the message of the emotion, you can rise. You will experience better relationships, a better life. You will be happy without needing something. And overall success becomes, more effortless to attain. It becomes more effortless. And in this video, I will explain like how you can deal with these emotions, and also through my personal experience. Okay, what I learned, how one can deal with these emotions, what you can do about it. Okay, I will give you tips so that you have a precise system how you can transform these emotions. And if you can it, I mean, it's very simple to rise, right? And the reason why I talk about this is because I started when I was like 20, I think shortly before 20, and I was about to come to a psychosomatic clinic. And the reason is because I experienced all kinds of problems, like in form of shame, also a lot of negative emotions, depression, social phobia, and a lot of other things, to be honest, as well. The list was really, really long. Okay. So I felt really bad and I experienced all kinds of the negative low vibrational emotions, right? Low vibrational emotions. But because I'm now already longer in this journey, I thought I will share with you how you can deal with that, because I learned a lot, and it can be quite painful to just experience it blindly without knowing what to do. Okay, so after this video, you will know how to deal with them. So let's start with the spectrum, with the start of the spectrum. This is with shame. So even if you're on a higher levels of consciousness, like courage or neutrality or whatever, you will still experience as a human being these emotions. And if you learn to transform them, you will rise. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to be in a low vibration just because you experience them. It's only the case if this is your dominant state. So if one negative emotion is your dominant state, then this is your average vibration. So let's start with shame. So as I started, I was really afraid to talk about anything. And I learned that when you feel shame, it feels like something is wrong with you. So shame feels like something is wrong with you, like you are defected, right? Like something is defected about this person. But what is actually the message of shame? So the message of shame, like I said, I just talk from my personal experience. The message of shame is that it wants to be seen. So whenever actually shame occurs, what it means is it just wants to be seen, right? And that means, so as I talked back then with therapists or psychologists, they don't even need to have skill. They just need to be able to listen without criticizing you or fixing you. So just a person who's capable of listening without trying to fix you or judging you or something like that. This already releases a lot of shame. Then you learn that it's okay to be seen. Basically, it's okay to exist. This is the message. It's okay to exist, right? Because if you are shameful and you don't release it, the message is like it's not even okay to exist, right? And then one goes into hiding. And the message then of guilt. So what's the message of guilt? Is basically like, is a similar message as far as I remember, like it's okay. So the difference to shame and guilt is that when you have guilt, you think like something is wrong. You did something wrong rather than that you are wrong. If you have shame, you think you are wrong. So guilt is very often shown by this feeling of I'm sorry. Oh, why did I do this? Right? It's a form of self-punishment or self-sacrifice in a negative way. So you need simply to realize that, to realize this existence of, hey, you're feeling like very, very sorry, you become over apologetic for something, right? A lot of nice guys have that, right? So when someone becomes over apologetic for something, I remember when I had this impulse, I tried to restrain from that, and the solution is also to feel this emotion, not just to stop the behavior. So as guilt, you want basically also like exist, but without punishment. You know, you don't want to get punished for what you do. You're afraid that you get punished or something is wrong with what you do rather than who you are, right? So you want to be repaired without being punished. This is the message. The next level is then apathy. So that means all you have to do basically is allow yourself also to stop punishing you, to stop punishing you. So whenever you notice like you want to punish you, you feel guilt, like I'm sorry, why did I do this? Why? Then you observe this pattern. You allow this feeling to exist and experience it fully at full intensity. You okay? You allow these feelings to experience to be felt with full intensity wherever it's located in your body. And the next level is like apathy. And at this level, it's like it doesn't matter. It's like the I think the state of a normal person. So usually if you watch my videos, you already don't belong to that, but it still can be that it still exists somewhere in your body because we all experience negative emotions, like low vibration emotions, right? So in the state of apathy, one doesn't care about either life or a certain aspect of life. It can be also just a certain aspect that one denied for whatever reason, right? Or it was difficult to face it. So the state of apathy is simply actually to allowing one to move. So you must imagine the state of apathy, it's like you just stay there, you don't move. So just moving and releasing this resistance that it's okay to care for something, that you actually care about things. That it's not everything is that you don't have about everything a mentality like I don't give a shit or I don't need to do this, fuck off everything. That you actually care. It's just admitting that you actually care and releasing this resistance towards that. That actually things do matter and you want to move things in your life. And what was the next one? I think it was grief. Yeah, grief was the next one. On the level of grief, it's just about like, so I remember when I was there, I felt like a big feeling like I lose something. Like it was a very nostalgic feeling. And a feeling like I lost something. And it doesn't even have to be a human. It can also be just your poverty or something like that. So something, or maybe something that you could never gain, but you wanted. Maybe you wanted the poverty, or as a child gain love or success, but it didn't work out the way how you wanted. And now this part of that of you is stuck. So there's nothing wrong. There's just this emotion is just stuck in your body, and you experience like a nostalgic feeling or a feeling of loss, right? That's how I remember that. But that's all still how I experience till this day. I still experience it sometimes, and then I release that. So I also still experience all of these feelings. It's just that I learned to release them. That's all. So that it's, I don't know if it disappears on higher levels, but it's just a human experience. So on this level is basically to allow yourself to experience that what has been lost is gone, right? So the level of grief, you want actually to restore that, right? You want actually to allow yourself that it's gone. That's actually it, right? But by holding into this grief, you just re-experience the feeling of loss. If you just allow yourself to experience that it's lost, you can move on. So grief basically wants to show you that it's okay that things are gone and that you can move beyond them. On the level of desire, it's a lot about expectations. Usually one thinks then, I was thinking back then, I want this, I want that. So I wanted a lot, but in a way where that I don't had this, when I was not having this, hey, I'm incomplete. Like in a way like it's lacking. So desire can just occur if you want this, but there's attachment of your self-esteem towards that. If you don't have it, you are incomplete. So actually you want to be whole, right? You just want to be whole. That's all. You want to let go of your expectations so that you experience that you are whole right now. So everything is good. So it's all about recognizing these expectations when you think, I want this. I should have this right now. I want this. Right? Or wishing, a thinking of wishing. I wish I would have been like this superstar. And this creates these expectations. And the expectations, what do? They always create separation. So expectation create a separation. Remember that. When you have expectations, they create a separation from reality. Okay? So it's always necessary to resolve expectations so that you don't experience any more separation from the future. You can be right now like that, or you can be right now whole already. You can let go desire right now. So whenever you experience this feeling, just realize that when you are in the thinking of wishing something or wanting something, but with a feeling of lack, and then just experience this feeling of lack, this feeling of these expectations, right? And yeah, on the next feeling, we have the feeling of anger. And I just know on this level, it's like you actually want to stay for the truth, but there's still control. So anger is a state where where the feeling wants to be right. So the emotion wants to be right. Like, so there's a form of control, like this is like that. I know that. Okay, so if you can let go of the control, then just the good part remains. This is that you actually want to stay for the truth without control, right? So you can basically let go of the control and just experience that you can stand for the truth. On the feeling of anger, you have already a lot of power. Power in a way where you can move things, even though it's not completely like, how to say it, it's with a lot of blockage. You feel like you're fighting against the world, but you still have things to move, like going to the gym, doing different kind of things, right? Like going out of your comfort zone. So it's actually noticing when you have this feeling like you want to control, you want to be right, and then experience this emotion. By the way, even though I explain these emotions, like I explain just this one emotion, if you feel anger, it can always be that there are also other emotions. Like behind anger is fear, right? So they can be like multiple layers of emotions. So don't try to overfocus on that. Just learn the message how to deal with the emotion, but be open what comes up. Once you try to experience the emotion in your body, just be open to what comes up, right? Don't try to control what should come up. Or even if you notice there's control, try to observe that as well. Yeah. So, and then the last level of the low vibration emotions is like pride. And pride is about defending one's image. Okay? So it can basically like show vulnerability, but only in a very calculated way, because you should never be vulnerable without control, right? It's about defending one's image and about comparison, comparing with others. So you are only great if you are better than others, right? So the self-worth is still dependent on whether one is better or worse than others. Okay, whether one has status or muscles or whatever, for example. Okay, without that, the self-worth basically will drop. So the state of pride tries to maintain that. Notice when you have this defense, when you try to have this image of being super strong, okay, and having like no weakness, because there's very often a lot of pride behind that. And if you can let go of that, to be honest, I don't remember what happens next, but I can just know your life will get better. I don't remember the answer anymore. So if you can let go of that, you can rise. You can simply rise and you can stand for the truth. Yeah, I think I explained now everything. I want to tell you at the end of this video, if you're still watching, something very important if you watch right now. With this, you can boost a lot the process. And if you want, I can solely make about this, what I will tell you now, a video. Just comment. So there are things that I didn't know when I started with the journey of resolving these emotions or integrating the inner child. And one thing is that we have beliefs about these emotions. So if you see shame like as something bad, like, rather than something that just wants to be seen, or maybe just a fiery feeling in your head, then it will be harder for you usually to feel this emotion. So it's better to see the emotions like they're on your side, even the negative emotions. And another thing that is also very important, that is connected to this one, is we have beliefs also of how fast we can proceed emotions, whether we are allowed to let them go. If you change these beliefs and simultaneously you practice to let go of your emotions, if you install beliefs in you like it's easy to let go, I can let go of ease, and you really seek confirmation for that, it becomes way easier to release emotions. This happened to me. I found it so hard back then to resolve anything. I was meditating in the past for a half year. Shit happened. Nothing happened. Until I changed the beliefs of how I perceive these emotions. I started to see them more as friends, or as okay at least. Then changed the beliefs like letting go is easy. Simultaneously, I was also practicing to release, because the higher you are on the map of consciousness, the easier it is to release, right? It's on these lower levels where it's harder, but on the higher levels it gets easier and easier. Some point just happens just like that. Okay? So that's just what I want to tell you, that you learn that. And if you notice, just in case, that you can't release these emotions at all, just ask yourself, when was the first time that I didn't learn to feel? Because it can be that you have like trauma towards feeling itself, right? So I'm not an official psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever to give you this advice. You can just use it for your own if you want to, or you can also consult in someone, expert or something like that. Okay, but this is what happened to me. Okay, by just asking the question, okay, when did I learn not to feel this emotion? And then wait, what occurs, just being open to what occurs. And I resolved this trauma towards not feeling. And now I can also just feel normally and release this stuff. Okay, and it becomes easier to release at higher levels. You can just release pretty fast actually. You don't have to fight that much anymore. So letting go can be easy. Okay. Okay, I hope this video helped you. Comment below what helps you the most, what do you want to see more of, something like that. If you have something like that in your mind, tell me that. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.